I'm Basant, and I'm going to tell you about the PQ4R method of studying. So, students learn more when they take an active approach to learning. One such active approach is called PQ4R method. And this is based on a work of an educational psychologist named Francis P. Robinson. The PQ4R method has 6 steps: previewing, questioning, reading, reflecting, reciting, and reviewing. Of course, you all wonder what is the PQ4R method. P stands for previewing, Q stands for questioning. The 4 R's are for reading, reflecting, reciting, and reviewing. We're gonna go through all 6 of those, but first we're going to learn about preview. So preview is previewing the subject matter in a textbook, means getting a general picture of what is covered before you begin reading a chapter. Maybe like reading the heading, the little paragraph in the first of the book, or like going to the back of the page and reading a little bit of the summary. But if the learning material and retaining is your goal, it may be more effective to read the first read, opening the questions, skim the pages, and glance at the questions in the section assessments and chapter. So questioning is like pointing out a certain thing. So it's more easier for you to search in it and like in the review of the chapter, in the questions on the internet, something like that. When you have goals in mind, it's easier for you. After you've previewed and questions and you know what are your goals, then you will go through the PQ4R method. First of the PQ4R method is reading. Reading, once you have formulated your questions, reading the chapter with purpose of answering them. Doing this will help you focus on the key points of the material as you read in each section. You can also highlight a few keywords in your textbook that will remind you of an answer that you can recite later or review later. Reflecting on a subject matter is an important way to understand and remember it. As you are reading, think of example or create a certain image of the subject matter. One way to reflect is to relate to new ideas or to old ideas or information. So like maybe if you're comparing an idea or something that happened with something that's new, so you can remember the new thing. Another way to reflect is to relate to new information or events in your personal life. For instance, you can reflect on classical conditioning by thinking of something that happened before. Recite is once you have read a section and reviewed it, and then you answered your questions by reciting them, and then the answers will help you remember or remind you of them. Which means like you can ask yourself questions and then you recite. You question yourself and what you've learned, so you can be sure that you've relearned it. You can also recite it as loud or repeat words silently to yourself. As personally, when I study, I like to pretend that I'm teaching to someone so that I could understand, and then to be sure that I am reciting it and learn it. Review is when learning takes time. As a result, we usually have to repeat or reread things before we know them well. To review something effectively, you can use the distributed learning. Distributed learning means studying something regularly so that learning is distributed over several days or weeks. Like for example, if you have a quiz next month and then you have this month to separate each chapter to read it for like maybe in 1 week you can read like 3 or 4 chapters, 3 or 4 lessons. So and then the other week then 3 or 4 lessons until other thing called mass learning. Mass learning is trying to learn something all at once. Mass learning is also known as cramming. Distributed learning usually takes no work but more time than cramming, but it means you have a plan ahead to try to stick to something or learn something. Is for example, maybe you and your classmates could question each other or make a quiz for each other, and yeah, that's it. And hope you learned what is the PQ4R method, and I hope you use it when you study. Bye.